This is gonna be my first video on building this model kit. It's a 1969 Corvette 427 Coupe. This is up by Revell. I think it's 1/25th scale. And on the box it says it came out in 1989. There's the side of the box there. This doesn't have too many pieces. It claims that it has a stunning amount of over 50 pieces. So it's quite the plastic amount you get. I did like these boxes from when I was a kid. And this is a kit that I had built before. I think there's a another kit that's called like L88 or something. I bet I built one a long time ago. And this was in my collection I had. My dad had gotten this one, and it was the price tag on the box said it was $8.50, so sure wish they were that much now. But this isn't really that much of an expensive kit. And in the box it comes with this nice little card catalog to get the different Revell catalogs. I don't know if they still do these, but I remember they're a lot of fun to look through a real catalog of what model kits you could get. And for this one, I've already started building it. Some of these kind of kits, just there isn't much to talk about, so I'm just gonna do, every once in a while I'll do an update on how I'm doing it. For this one though, I'm just gonna build it box stock, and for the painting part, I'm just gonna use whatever. I got a bunch of old spray cans. I'm just gonna pick one of those and use that. I have a bunch of automotive paint, so I might try to do that. It's a little hard to paint here in the winter. I'm worried about the ventilation of it all, but we'll see what I can do. This kit is really kind of, if you built some of the newer ones, this one's really kind of hard to go back to. But I'll go through different sections and show you what I have. Move that plate out of the way, it's kind of bright there. I did paint the body already. Just did a basic primer on it. It's still a little damp. That's what kind of sucks in the winter. It takes a long time for it to air out, even on light coats. These old kits like this, they would just kind of gear them for kids more, and this one's obviously painted in or molded in this kind of orange red color. And these are always like the most nightmare cars to do, because it's a little easier now because I've just done a primer everything. But as a kid, we didn't really spray paint cars that way, or we would just do that on the body. And it's really hard to cover up all this red, especially if you use white primer. So I'll try to find a different, maybe a dark color in the spray cans to paint it as. But the body is in pretty good shape. It didn't seem like there's any warping in it, which was nice. It's a nice one solid piece. It's kind of nice because some of the model kits you have to assemble the front end sections and the rear part, and sometimes that doesn't line up very well, and then you have to kind of fill it in with putty. So this one is really nice. They don't have to do that. I wish that the tops you could remove, but it doesn't. They wouldn't be able to do that. I guess you could cut it open, but some of the edges I haven't sanded yet. What I started doing for a while now is I just do kind of like cut off some sharp edges with the back of the knife, usually on the bottom of the model. Then I'll primer it. And then once I primer it, then I'll go and sand the edges down like they should be. The reason because sometimes your knife will slip, or if you have a sanding stick, you might slip, and then you'll scratch the the body. But if it's got this protective primer, then you can kind of just fill it back in, if that makes sense. So there, I always start with the body and make sure that you get a good paint job. A lot of times when I build models, or cars especially, I would just paint the the body first, and if I messed up on the body, then I wouldn't worry about continuing on. But this one's a little different. The interior, it's just a big old bucket. There isn't really that much detail in it. I'm gonna try to put some flocking in it there. You had to glue in the shifter, which looks a little shady, and it's got like a chrome brake handle, which is a little weird. Here's the different sections for the inside. It's always better to paint these first, I think, and then glue them in. Oh, the hood's got a hinge on it too. As you can see, it's got some kind of those like relief marks from the mold. It doesn't look that great, but it fits in there quite nicely, I remember. The engine went together real well. I don't know how focused that'll be, but it's a nice big engine. There's a lot of details in it. I think they give you they did give you a different option. You could put in a chrome. Get it over here. There's a different. You can get a chrome manifold there. I don't even think it mentions that in the. Oh, yeah, it does mention that there's a chrome one there, but I just wanted to make it body color. So, but it's a real nice engine. I like how it turns out. It went together pretty well. There's some other things I got to glue on there, but I'm gonna primer it and then just paint it in. Here's the firewall. Had different parts you could put the brake booster on, and this little pump, which is a nice little detail there. The main part of this is the frame, and this has actually kind of not a lot of details on it. This is like after they started converting the kits into more models, because some of the old ones just had a cutout for the axle for kids to build or snap tight. So this one's a little more for adults, I suppose. But there's been kind of a lot of some problems, I guess. I'm worried about how it's going to sit, because this axle doesn't sit on there very well. You have to it kind of balances on this middle transmission section. It's a little wonky. And some of this exhaust was really hard to get down as well. So I just kind of put a bunch of globs of glue on the different, like there and then here, right there. There's this crossbar that you put over it to hold it down too, which is nice. The worst part though is the front end. New kits are a lot better. That this will rest on the frame. Actually, there's only one way it can go in, but this one they decided to make it so it pretty much sits on the springs. You can see they're chrome in there, which I just left them chrome. I didn't bother. I usually just paint the ends, the frame black anyways. I got a little bit of focus here. You can see the chrome in there. So whatever that part's called, it sits on those two things, and it's kind of not. I don't know how centered it is, but I'm hoping that it'll be okay. What's nice about Corvettes is, though, usually the engines are easy to get in. And you can test them because of the way the hoods work. There's a little slot there where the transmission will fit in there. See if I can. I mean, that's more or less what it sits in there like. It's kind of leaning to the right a little bit. It might be because of the exhaust. That's always hard to figure out what angle to put it at. Also, they give you this part for the fan, and it didn't really show you what angle to put it in at. So I just put it in the middle and hope it's gonna work out. Other things, there's the interior's got a nice little dash with it. Not too many details in it. One thing that really kind of sucks is The seats, they give you, you have to assemble the back piece here, and you can see just how bad that looks. I mean, man, it just looks really bad. Should I fill that in with something, or I guess I could sand down that seam on the side. But that part in the back, I don't know what I would do with it. If I had some scale like seat covers, I could put over the back half or something. But you also have to glue on the headrest, which I don't like. There's no way to extend them either unless you modify it. But yeah, there isn't that many parts to it. It's been going pretty easily. Let's see if I think of anything in these instructions to talk about. It's all pretty basic. Yeah, some of the parts with the suspension's a little confusing, so I just hope it sits well. That's like the most important thing, really. If it looks like it's sitting like a real car. And then one thing is, remember it's in a full page, but here's where on the bottom of the car they have these little wheel wells, and it pretty much holds the hood in there so it opens. And I was gonna put them on. You can see I didn't put them on yet because I didn't want the hood on there to paint it with, because if I'm going to use auto paint, I want to be able to really be able to sand it down. So it kind of goes in there like that. I think that's going the wrong way, but so we'll get to that. Yeah, it's like just see how the body does, and then get back to it. We'll see how painting in the winter goes. Also, the kit comes with some. It doesn't have that many decals with it, and they're actually in pretty alright shape for how old they are. They just have a L89 Florida tag, and I guess that's the air cleaner decal. And there's a black and white kind of stripes. I don't really know where those. Oh, I guess they go on the hood there. Oh, yes, on the box they have them too. I probably won't put those on there. I don't really know. They might not turn out that well. And that's about it for right now on the update. Just gonna let the body dry. I did it like an hour ago, and it's pretty good. Usually one thing, if it feels dry, but if you smell it and you can kind of still smell paint, then you should just kind of wait a little while. So we'll see at the end of the day today if I can get around to sanding it down, and then go from there.